Rinse and Dragon Productions here again for another quickie for your diorama builds. Um, I already showed you how to make trees like this one, and I told you I would show you how to make trees like this one. This one's a little more complicated, but it's still not too bad. For that, you're going to need some wooden dowels. I have two sizes here. I have thin ones for the branches and a thicker one for the main trunk. Or you can also use PVC pipe. I use that too. This is I want to say this is half inch thick, but I cut it to be tall enough that when you stand a figure next to it, it looks like a tall tree. I use that figure to size those, and they'll usually go up out of camera range anyway. So the next thing you're going to do for these, the first thing you're going to do, after you've cut them to size, I cut 3 or 4 of them to just random sizes. As you can see, they're all different, just like the real thing. You're going to basically drill holes all the way down the length of your tube, like so. Okay. I generally start at the top and I put them, a good half to a quarter inch, somewhere in there apart. Maybe even an inch as I get down toward the bottom. Okay. I push the dowels in, I cut them all down, and I shove and glue them into the holes. Okay. And I do that in sort of a spiral so they'll cover each other when you're done. Now, one big tip that I'm going to give you is paint the trunk before you start. Like, get it all ready to go and the color that you wanted all the way up in there. Because while you're not going to see the detail of it, you will see it. And you do want it to be the right color. And just like the rest of the trees, pick your browns. Sometimes do lighter, sometimes do darker, sometimes do even black base and put a brown over it so it's just a tad darker. The same thing when you do your highlights. You want it to be inconsistent. You don't want consistency. You want random, like nature. Same thing when you put your grasses on there. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some of these. This is air conditioner filter. I've never found it in green. If you do, awesome. Please let everybody know where you found it, because that's a treasure. I've always found it in either blue or white. Now, I picked the blue because if you look real close at the pine trees, and if you look real close at your live ones, there are blue tints in those. See, they don't look super blue because they're next to the green. Up close and without the camera, they're a little more blue, but not much. Okay. I did that with a spray paint can. And trust me, it took a lot of spray paint. You can do them in cotton, and as you can see, it gets a different texture. It doesn't look like pine trees. It looks like a different kind of a leaf. And I'm still working on that. I don't like it yet. And the other thing is the white shows through a lot. I would rather this blue show through because that's more natural looking to me. Up to you. But that white's going to be a lot harder to deal with. As you can see, there's white poking through there. Every time you tear it or rip it apart, that's another white that's going to show. And that's more painting, more hassle to me. If you want to do that, cool. I hope you find something awesome. I hope that inspires you for that. Anyway, I'm take these filters. After I painted this, now I just have this one so I can show you. Cut it toward the center and cut pieces out of it so that it fits. So your corners are kind of on your dowels. Okay. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to glue them down to the dowels. You're going to attach them. See that one right there? I use CA glue. You can use wood glue or hot glue, however you need to do it. But I essentially put the corners on there and glue them down so this stays. Then I go around with a pair of scissors and just shape it. Okay. Just make it roundish instead of square. Cut divots and holes in it. Pull pieces out, rip it, tear it. The other thing you're going to probably want to do is in the center here, you're going to want to essentially tear it in half. Like, I don't even use a full square like this. I tear this square in half down the middle so it's not as thick. Okay, this one I just did to show you. But then the other thing I do is, once I get it on there, and you can see how thin the layers are, I pull it apart this way so that none of it is even or flat like it should be. Okay, you're just going to go through and shape and shape and shape. Okay. Then once you get that done, and I haven't experimented with this part yet, but I'm going to, then I'm going to try and paint the needles green with acrylic paint instead of spray paint. I'm basically going to go in with a nice thick brush, water that paint down as much as I can so it drizzles through there, and paint all the needles. The only other way I can think of to tell you to do it is to paint it first, which I did with both of these, and they came out okay. All of the needles on that as well. It came out pretty good painting it beforehand. But again, every time you rip and tear, that's another piece you're going to have to go back and touch up. I can't decide which is going to be harder, so I might be lying to you right at this moment. But that's what I'm going to try and do. Obviously, I've pre-made all this so I could show you how to do it and how it turns out. But you guys know how to cut. You guys know how to glue. I don't need to show you how to do that. Okay. I hope. Video is really starting to tick me off. Okay. I'm sorry. I paused there. I was talking and the video camera shut off. All right. So as I was saying, I take hot glue, I make those textures, and then I run those textures down into the ground. That way I've got roots on these, because the pine tree roots seem to be smaller than other roots. And so I think this looks more real. And then, like I said before, you can paint that base. Like, I paint the base same color as I paint this when I'm doing it all at one time. And then I put white glue down, just regular Elmer's glue. I've got a big giant container of it. I put that down all over it nice and liberally. It's white, obviously, you can see. And when it dries clear. But then you do that in a couple different layers. Like, I put down that dark green layer some time ago, went around and sort of patted it in and shook it off, as you can see by the mess on my table. And then I did the other colors. Again, I can show you how to make that. It's super easy. But at any rate, you come out with these, and you'll notice that my pine tree looks like it's been through quite a bit. Been through rains. It's been through, just in nature. Same thing with that one. You'll notice that it's not, like, there's a little piece where it's not perfectly cone shaped. That's nature for you. But in the end, these all, even as detailed as they look, you can get up close and you can keep the detail on. And again, it failed. You can get up close and you can keep the detail on a lot of this stuff. But remember, it's for photographs. So a lot of it's going to be back in the back, like where the backdrop is. And it's going to be on ground like this. And you're not going to be focused too much on there. But ideally, you want to take away as many things as you can for all of this stuff. Backdrops, English is hard for me. Backdrops, trees, other trees, ground, all that stuff. You want it to look as good as it can so it doesn't pull the viewer out of reality. That's all we're trying to do, is add a little reality to these plastic things that we like so much. So there you go. There's my how to build pine trees diorama quickie. Just crap that you can add. I probably will do another one on rocks and stones and how I make those look the way they do. I don't know. I kind of do these by the seat of my pants, because I want to, I want to shoot dioramas, and I want to show you guys the walkthroughs of them. And I think there's a big difference between doing nature things like this and hard scale things like buildings. So I'm building up to that, showing you those. I think buildings are easier, personally, but I think these come out pretty cool, and I just want to pass it on for those of you who have seen it and might wonder how to do these, because I see the model train guys do them all the time in their scale, but their trees are that big. So how do you make one this big that works with characters like these? If I need this guy, my custom forge here with the armor from Budo. So if I want him walking through the forest, there you go. I can have him walking through the forest, and those trees look the right height. So I hope you guys take this. I hope it's inspiring for you. I hope, if you have questions, comment below. Subscribe to the channel. The more of you that subscribe to the channel, the more of this stuff I can do. And if you have requests, if you want to see something that I haven't shown you yet, or you just want details, obviously I won't make another video of details, but I will explain it as best I can and answer questions. But if you want to see something else built, parts of something, whole vehicles, like that helicopter, I built that, customs of things that I will show you eventually, more backgrounds like those pipes, different, as you can see, I've got all kinds of projects going on in here, and eventually I'm going to show the walkthrough of that beast back there. So as soon as I'm done cleaning up. All right, Rancid Dragon Productions. I hope you guys liked it. See ya.